Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Home by Nine. Once again, my name is Crystal.
And my name is Emily, and this is episode 4.
I don't know. I don't know about you, but I feel like this past week I've been feeling
All sorts of
yeah. I
emotions.
just been mad, and then like
Mad, sad, emotional,
yeah, and then right now I'm just
all in your
giggling.
feelings.
Yeah. Um, but like always, you want to start off with how our week's been.
Yeah. You want to start off first?
Well, I had mentioned that, I wanted to get back into working out. So I've been trying to add that to my schedule this week. And then I just been having Amaya at the house since she's been off for school.
Well, for me, I didn't even go to the gym. You're saying you're going to the gym. I didn't go to the gym this whole week, and I feel horrible. But other than that, it's been good. I've been working. I went to the concert on Wednesday. If anybody went to the Yvonne concert, it was so amazing. He brought out everyone.
And I made a bet with Emily. I told her.
I know.
And she was like, oh, he's going to have this guest. And I was like, I bet you money he's going to have Becky G.
You didn't say bet you money. I bet you a coffee.
No, I bet you.
Yeah, you just said, yeah, she bet me. And I was like, no, I don't think he is. I don't think he's going to bring anybody. He just put that he's going to have this guest. And Chris was like, watch. She was like, let's bet a coffee. And I was like, okay, my stupid ass shook on it.
Yeah, and she was like, I was like, no, I'm pretty sure she's going to be there. I was like, I don't have any second guesses on it. But
and then she was there, and I was like, God damn, Chris was going to get her coffee. But he brought out most people, and it was just, amazing. It was so good.
Multiple people.
Yeah.
You said most.
Yeah, most of the people he sings with.
Oh,
most of the people that he does the collaborations with.
Oh, okay.
But it was so good.
Is that why your voice is a little gone?
Leave my voice alone. That is why I screamed, I cried, I threw up. But it was really good. And then, Thanksgiving, we ate a lot.
I just feel like this week went by fast in a way, but at the same time, I don't know, fast and slow. And then I just feel like there was so much going on that it was just a little overwhelming.
Yeah, I know. And then today's Friday, but it doesn't even feel like a Friday. I don't know.
Yeah.
And the weather. So it's it feels a little gloomy.
Yeah. That, and then I think it's just la desvelada,
I know.
From yesterday.
Not for yesterday, for
oh, well, for you, from the day too. I had to take her to the concert, and I had to pick her up, of course. My mom duties.
But since then, I just feel so tired. But
and you go back to work tomorrow.
I know, but I don't have to work a long day. It's gonna be from 9 to 12, but only because I guess the drivers are gonna be working, so they need to get their stuff, and then just to confirm people's appointments.
Mm-hmm.
And then Sunday, I start my new job at Vans, and I don't know my schedule yet for that, so let's see how that goes.
And then you're going to get us our pairs of Vans.
Sure. Okay. And then, just that. Other than that, I don't know.
I just think it's been I said. I think it's just been this week's been crazy just because I have Amaya at home, off of school. And during the week, I feel like I have a little bit more time to kind of do things.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Wait, let's not forget to mention we decorated for Christmas.
Oh, yeah. So we're decorating for Christmas. We have some stuff right now. We still want to decorate a little bit more.
Still need to get the lights for a Christmas tree.
Yeah, and what else?
Oh, the lights for these so they can turn on.
Yeah, but you guys, Dollar Tree. No, this is a Dollar Tree. The 99-cent store has a lot of good stuff. But I will mention this.
They're not 99 cents.
They're not 99-cent store no more. It's freaking $5, $4.
This is what, $3?
Yeah, but I mean, it's cute. It's
it's giving what it needs to give.
Yeah, and we wanted to do the reds and stuff, but then we saw these colors and we're like, oh, these are really cute. They match with
our little
the
chairs.
And so yeah, you guys will hopefully by the next episode, you guys will see more decorations and little more things here and there. Emily ordered a Christmas tree, but didn't realize it didn't come with lights. I know,
so
we're let's
okay, but think about it. Most Christmas trees already come with lights, so
not all of them.
But most of them do.
Not all of them. Is this your first year buying a Christmas tree?
So shut up.
It's her first year being an adult.
Shut
Doing adult
up.
obligation.
No, just that we've always had our Christmas tree already. So buying one
because
this
mom
year.
had it ready with lights.
But it was already like that.
Well, the majority of the time you have to buy the lights.
Well, not with the one we had already. Yeah. And then, I'm like a little sick too. Like, I've had like a stuffy nose and then like headaches this week, and it's just like horrible.
Yeah, but you wanted to go to the concert.
And what?
She was already feeling it, and she was like,
"Yeah." I was like, "You know what? I was like, I'm gonna take 2 Tylenols, and I don't care. I'm going."
Pero para el trabajo, when it comes to
but I still worked.
No, I know.
I still went. It's not like I called off.
Yeah.
So,
but yeah, like with this week with Maya being off, I was just like, I don't know, like I don't feel like we've been doing much. But like I was thinking about like how like I remember, like when I was in school and we would have like our breaks. And we would get to stay home and
sleep in.
Well, not really sleep in. I think
I did.
Before, I'll mention this. Before I moved out with like Christian, I used to wake up early. But
that's because we would always sleep early too. We would literally sleep at like 9.
Not all the time. Not all the time. There was times I would sleep late, but nobody knew.
But then again, it's also like how like daylight savings and all that.
Yeah.
I feel like now I wake up early too, because before I'll be like, I'm waking up late. But now I feel like I wake up like at 7.
But not even like even when I moved in with him, like I was the first one up in their house, and like I would just stay there laying in bed, just watching like the ceiling. And then after a while, like I think I started just kind of starting sleeping in. Like I got used to it. But I was like thinking about it. I'm like, oh, like how even if like we had break, I would still wake up early, Yeah. And then I remember like helping my mom like clean or do stuff. I was always a good kid.
Okay, Crystal.
I'll mention that. Okay. I was. You can even ask my mom. My mom was telling my daughter the other day that I was a really good kid. And my daughter was like asking her, did you ever have to spank my mom? And my mom was like, no, like she was a really good kid.
I think, honestly, I don't think mom or dad spanked us or, us. At least us two. Because I know that our siblings, it was different, but ellos por traviesos.
No, my mom did spank you once, I think.
Just once.
But for me, never.
Okay, Crystal.
So I'm the favorite child.
No, you're not. Trust me.
But yeah, like I remember like, just getting up and helping my mom, or the one thing I do remember doing, and like it's not just like during like our Christmas break or any type of break we would have from school. It would be like even like the days I would miss school, watching Maury or Jerry Springer.
Not saying the days I would miss school.
Well, no, it was not like because like I had to. Either I wasn't feeling good, or like there was times where I had like doctor's appointments, or like times where my mom had things to do and like she had nobody to pick me up. But I remember like I would watch Maury or Jerry Springer, una niña mocosa, like in freaking second, third, fourth grade.
He is the daddy.
Yeah.
He is.
I'm like, Daddy, can I take you to Maury? I want to see if you're my father. I don't think that needs to be explained now. I think we know. Yeah, we have our answer. But yeah, I remember like watching that, and like now that I'm like older, I'm like, how the hell my parents let me watch that?
And now that you think about it, you're like, I wouldn't let my daughter watch that.
I would. No, I wouldn't let her watch that.
I would watch it with you. I remember watching it with you, and yes, I remember watching it with you, and then they would be like, and whatever the kid's name is. 2-year-old so and so, you are not the father, and then the mom would get up running and crying.
Yeah, my mom would do that, but she would try to like run around to get away from you. But no, I don't remember. Honestly, I don't remember you watching it.
I would watch it.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, is that why you asked my mom if eras hija de lechon?
Why? Because I'm white?
Yeah, because you're white.
You're just mad because you're different skin tone.
So I'm fine. I love my
That's
color.
why we didn't know if you. That's why we didn't know if you were, ours.
Well, you're the last one. All of us look alike, except you.
No, everybody tells me I look like Liz.
No, because you are Liz kid. Just saying.
Oh my god! Right now that you say Liz's kid, Liz has always said like from the beginning she said I was her kid, like to her in-laws.
Yeah.
And then from there, her father-in-law just always continued asking if I was
the daughter.
Yeah. Or when mom was gonna give me back to her.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they've told him though that I'm not.
Like he has an idea that you're not.
I don't know.
Or like the time that when we went to church, remember?
Oh, and they told Chris Happy Father's Day.
So they told my husband, we went to church and they told my husband, this is when we were dating, and they told my husband, oh, Happy Father's Day. And then my husband, like, you know, at that time he was my boyfriend, and he looked at my sister and he's like, the hell I look like you? Like,
you.
but yeah, they told him like Happy Father's Day, and we're like looking at each other all confused.
Didn't he say thank you? I swear.
I think he said he just went along with it and said thank you. But yeah, we're just like looking at each other like, oh, this is a little awkward, like, you know. But it was destined, you know.
Ew.
They already knew he was gonna be papa for you.
Literally.
Yeah, but like I you know, I remember watching that show, or what else? Honestly, I think that's like the main thing, like just watching like Maury or Jerry Springer. And like with, I don't know, I felt like we didn't really do much, like, you know, like
during the holidays.
Yeah, like I felt like our parents really didn't take us out to places as much, you know. Like I feel like that's one thing I feel like my generation has changed. Like, you know, when it comes to like breaks or like vacations for kids, like we try to find some type of activity or something to do.
But that's because like now you guys try to get them out the house, you know?
Yeah, because like I mentioned to you, like I feel like your generation, you know, you guys usually want to stay at home, or, you know, just more of homebodies, how we mentioned it before. So I feel like our generation, like we kind of want our kids to kind of do things that we wanted to do, you know, when we're younger, or things that we couldn't do.
But they're not even that. Like now they're like, you take them and they'll be like, I'm bored.
Yeah, my daughter's
or I want to go home. Like I want to go watch TV.
Yeah. So it's I think it has changed, you know, in that sense.
Like back then, you probably wanted to go out and do all those things, and now you're trying to do them, but now you're, you know, Amaya's like, no, I don't want to, you know?
And you know, the one thing,
you know what? I think it's that you're trying to heal your inner child.
It is.
And then for her, it's just like, I don't care for it.
Yeah, like one thing I could mention is that I never went to Disneyland when I was a kid. Never. I ended up my first time going to Disneyland.
You were like 15, huh?
No, I was 16. The first time I went to Disneyland, I was 16 years old.
And I was
I never,
like 6.
Yeah, so like I never got to experience, you know, like Disneyland as a
kid.
Yeah, as a young kid. And then what else? I remember also not going to Chuck E. Cheese.
You didn't go to Chuck E. Cheese?
No. The one that took me for the first time was our brother, and I was like in, what grade was I in? Like I think I was like in 4th or 5th grade by that time when I went to when I went to Chuck E. Cheese for the first time. And like for me, it's like I want like Amaya to kind of experience, you know, like going to those places, making memories.
See,
you know.
You probably want to go to Chuck E. Cheese, and I remember me going to Chuck E. Cheese.
Oh, the one time,
and I lost my shit.
Yeah, so I took Emily one time to. It was for what was it? My friend's sister's birthday party.
I don't remember.
I think it was for that. And I was in middle school, and I took her with me, thinking that I thought she was gonna enjoy it.
My shit.
And she just literally went crazy. Like
I started crying.
Like we couldn't calm her down. I had to punch her a couple times. But
well, think about it. Those freaking animatronics. Animatronics. They were scary.
Yeah.
Like after a while, okay, they're whatever. But like, think about it, with their big ass eyes just looking at you.
They were more scared of you.
Shut up.
And they weren't even real. So
they were scary.
Yeah. So I remember, like, I had to call my mom to come pick up Emily, because she was just losing it. Like, she just needed to leave.
I didn't want to be there.
Yeah. So I remember my mom picking you up and taking you home, but. After that, I don't think I took you back, right, to Chuck E. Cheese again when you were small.
I went once, but I don't remember. No, yeah, I went. I think it was in I don't remember if it was in kindergarten, but I remember I went for your, what is she? Your madrina from confirmation.
She's my first communion.
Oh, well, her daughter's birthday, she had it at Chuck E. Cheese, and I went for that.
Yeah, or was it that you were scared about the old Chucky because he was pretty thick, and now you like the new Chucky because he's pretty, he's thin. He got a little transformation, maybe a little BBL in there or something,
No, I don't like the new Chucky. I'm like, why they change him? Like, what is that?
But like, to think about it, like, is Chuck E. Cheese still like?
It's not like
Packed? Like,
No.
no, huh? Because like, the one where I live, like, it looks pretty empty majority of the time, and, like, we have, like, a round 1 where we live at, and I feel like that's usually more packed than, like, the Chuck E. Cheese. Um, and then, I don't know, maybe the area too, like, where it's
Well,
at.
not even here. Like, well, here it's like where there's like other like stores around it.
Yeah,
And even then, like you'll be like see all these cars, but there's still like other stores. And
stores.
you'll go inside
Yeah.
and there's like 2, 3 people at most.
Yeah.
It's not
And then, like,
packed.
you know what, the one thing I remember you were able to do? They used to have the tickets,
Oh
and
yeah,
then you
you
can
would scan
yeah,
them.
and then or you can find them randomly, like, in
Yeah.
different, what is it, in different games, especially in the mornings. When you went
Yeah.
early in the morning,
Because they would
when
try out the games.
yeah,
So they would bring them
yeah, so
out.
then you were able to get them, and now it's like everything's with the
The
card now,
card.
the little card. So, like, I feel like things like that, like, have lost their touch, you know what
I
I mean? Like, it's
know.
it's like as generations go by, like, things start kinda changing, and it's just like
I've gone a couple times now, but it's because, like with our nieces, like they like to go. So I've gone with them a couple times, but I don't know, like it just feels different. It doesn't hit me the same.
well, maybe because 'cause we're older,
But not only
too.
that, how like they changed everything inside too.
Yeah.
So it's like I miss the old Chuck E.
The
Cheese.
But yeah,
Now,
you were crying.
but that's because I was small.
Well, that's the whole thing. The whole thing is to enjoy it when you're
No,
young.
no, I want to enjoy it now too.
You see, but like for instance, like with the Maya, she never gave me that issue like about like the Chucky and all that. Like she wanted to go. And I think I did. I have taken her multiple times, but majority of the times now we either go to what is it called? Round 1 or where else?
For me, I remember majority of the time, I used to go to what is it called? John's. I remember Mariana used to take me a lot to John's Incredibles
Oh
Pizza.
yeah, yeah. I used to go with her a lot. I think, like, once I went to John's, I was like, "Oh, this place is bougie." Like, it's better
Yeah.
than Disney. It's
Than
better.
Disney.
It's better than
It's
Chuck
because
E.
it had
Cheese.
like all the different rooms and everything.
And then like the rides in there too. So
Yeah.
it was like you're like,
It
what
was
the
like,
hell?
what is
Yeah,
this?
like, oh, you rich, rich. You bringing me to the next level of Chuck E. Cheese. But like they remodeled that too,
I
no?
don't know. I haven't gone.
Cause like I remember when I first went, I think they only had like the bumper cars, and then they had like this ride called like the tornado or something like
Yeah,
that.
the one that spins.
Yeah, and then like when I started working at John's back then, yeah, a couple years ago, they had what is it? Bowling. They added bowling to it too.
Oh yeah, they have the bowling. I think they have mini golf too.
Oh, they do? I didn't
Yeah,
know
like, I
about
think
that.
they have like a little glow in the dark mini golf
Oh
thing.
wow, then they did that at
And then
other
I
stuff.
know that there was like something with like lasers that you had to like crawl under and get to the other side.
Oh, I didn't know. Then yeah, they added more stuff
I remember
because it wasn't like
the
that.
last time I went was probably like in 7th grade,
Yeah.
and I remember seeing like the laser things. I think that was it though. I haven't gone now.
Yeah, because I haven't gone to John's since I stopped working there. So I haven't, it's been what, years? Like 5, 6
You're
years?
30 now, so like
Shut up. No, not even 6 years. It was before that. Sorry. It was
what?
like 10,
How old were
11
you?
years ago. Huh?
How old were you when you worked there?
I think I was like 19, 20.
So then yeah,
I was
like
like
10
19, 20.
years.
Yeah.
9, 10 years.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I know. Like they go like that. Like it's crazy.
Don't tell me that, because like what, like I have a month and a couple of days left before I turn 20.
Yeah. Well, like, okay, this is the thing. When I was in my 20s, I felt like my 20s were going by so slow. Like, I would look at our siblings and I'm like, damn, they're in the 30s and I'm still in my 20s. That's what I would think, right? So, like, I felt like they went really slow. Maybe up to like before I got pregnant with the Maya, like, I felt them go slower. But like, once I became a parent, like,
Well, Crystal, you're saying before I became pregnant with the Maya, you were basically still a teen though. Because you
I
got
was
pregnant with the
20.
Maya when you were like, what, 20?
I was about to be 21.
So then how did your 20s go by slow? You had
I
like,
don't know.
you didn't even have your full year of
Oh,
being
whatever,
20.
you understand. But like, I don't know. Like, I think I still felt older, honestly. Like to think about it, I felt older. That's crazy. Then wait,
You're like, my 20s went by so slow before I got pregnant. Crystal, you got pregnant when you were
yeah,
20.
you're right. Okay, I wasn't thinking about it. I'm still a little tired from yesterday.
Your teen years went by slow
Okay.
then.
But yeah, like I think they went by kind of slow because then like sometimes I would ask them, "How old are you, mommy?" And then like I would think about it, I'm like, "Oh shit, I'm still in my 20s." And now I'm like, "Oh shit, I'm in my
You're
30s,"
like, shit, I'm 30 now.
Yeah, but yeah, they kind of go slow. I'm just saying they go slow. But
Well,
I don't
maybe
know. Like
well,
lately,
I mean, lately now, like think about it. It feels like every day is going by so
yeah,
quick. Like
yeah, it is.
what? We're almost in December.
It is. It does feel it. And back then, I feel like it felt like time was a little bit slower,
It
but now it's
was.
like I don't know.
I felt it too because I remember when I was in middle school. I remember I used to wake up like at 6 a.m. because I
Why
just
would you
couldn't
wake
sleep.
up so early?
I don't know. Like I just couldn't sleep. I would wake up at 6 a.m. and I would have all this time. I'd be watching TV before going to school.
I wouldn't even wake up at 6. I don't know. I always wanted to have extra minutes to sleep.
I couldn't. I just woke up at 6.
Yeah.
And I was like even then, like I remember the days felt so slow. Like, and now I feel like nada me rinde.
It's crazy how like things feel
Yes.
different.
I'm
And like for me
why?
again, like talking about it, like me at your age, I felt like time was going by a little bit slower. And like now that you mentioned, like, yeah, like I feel like time has been going really fast. Like
Now it feels like it's just like it's just
yeah.
going by quick.
Yeah. Or maybe it's just like the change and everything,
Like what?
Like
Next week when this comes up, it's what, early December?
yeah, you're right. Oh my God, that's crazy.
Think about
That's
it.
crazy.
Like
Yeah.
it just feels like the year just started.
Yeah. Who's pressing fast forward? But yeah, it's crazy, huh? Like it's like you don't really realize about like time until you're like, holy shit, like how did I get here? Like what happened to like just a couple months ago, when I was
Yeah.
really doing this and now it's
I
like
can't even remember what happened a couple months ago, Crystal.
I can't even remember what happened like a couple 10 minutes ago.
You're like, I can't even remember what I had for lunch.
Tamales. Leftovers. The leftovers. I think like after like
La
what
recalentada.
yeah. Like
They just hit different.
they do, but then at the same time,
You
like
get tired of it.
yeah, you just get tired. It's like, oh, what am I having today?
Oh,
Tamales,
leftovers
yeah.
from.
Yeah, so it does get tiring, I think.
Think about it. The rest of the whole week, you're just to have leftovers.
Yeah, but I don't think we made a lot of food. We brought some here and then we took
Yeah,
some
but
too.
mom always has like a shit ton of leftovers
She
because
freezes.
everybody leaves it. Literally, she has them frozen and then like takes one down every day. She's like, "What do you want today?"
Yeah, but like like how we're talking about like back to like when we were in middle school and stuff. What other stuff like do you remember like from like middle school or
From middle
elementary?
school? From element. Well, see, I can't really say
Because
lots about it.
I want to compare it to like
Yours now?
my generation to like your
Oh
generation.
yeah, because you're like 1900s. Oh, I
Shut
forgot.
up. Shut up.
Like you're
Emily, what's inside of this? Can you say it in Spanish?
agua. Crystal, it's agua. Shut up. We don't talk about that. I didn't say I didn't know how to say. I didn't know how to read the word. I know how to pronounce it, but I didn't know how to read it.
It's the same thing. You have to know how to read it in order for you to pronounce
didn't.
it.
I didn't know how to read it. Like I didn't know how it was spelled.
No.
It was my first year of Spanish, Crystal. Leave me alone.
Anyways.
But honestly, like I can't say much. I just remember, we used to move a lot.
But like elementary. Let's start with elementary.
Elementary school, we moved a lot.
Oh, you were in elementary, huh?
Yes. I remember I went to like half of kindergarten in Moreno Valley and then like moved and I went to half a kindergarten in Pomona. And then we moved again when I was in kindergarten and I started first grade in Moreno Valley. And then in second grade, half a second grade? Yeah, half a second grade, I moved back to Pomona. And then third grade, I moved half of third grade from Pomona to Moreno Valley again.
Yeah.
And then in sixth grade, that's when we moved again.
You guys moved? Wait, you were in sixth grade?
Yeah, the last time we moved was when I was in sixth grade. It was like half of my middle school. Because in Moreno Valley, I went to middle school. And when we moved, I had to go back to an actual elementary school because they had sixth grade in the elementary school.
Oh, I don't remember that.
So I was like going back because I was like,
here. And back where you guys moved to, no?
Yeah.
Oh.
So like I was at a middle school in Moreno Valley in sixth grade, and then we moved, and then it was back to an elementary school. Yeah. So, and I remember I was so like, what the hell? Like, who says that? Because I remember when I came back, uh, when we went, when we came, what am I saying? When we left from Moreno Valley, that I went back to an elementary school. Yeah. I remember my English teacher, she was like, what school did you go to? And I remember I told her, and I went to a middle school. And she's like, then why'd you come here? If you're already in a middle school, why'd you come here? And I was like, bitch, like, I was like, because like I used to come here, you know, like I used to know this school.
No, but I know what you're talking about. They did make it. They added 6th grade to it.
They added 4th to 6th grade in that group. Yeah.
So, maybe the space, because you know how some schools they don't have space. Like if the middle school didn't have space no more, they probably just put you there.
Yeah. So I was like, what the hell? Like, she really told me that. And like, I remember the class just looking at me and I was like, why would you say that? Yeah. And literally, I was like, girl, like, are you for real? But like, I just didn't say anything. I was like, whatever. And then I remember, in that same class, she gave like the class a project and they had like a whole month to do it. Okay. I had a week to do that project and I still got it done and I still presented.
You're like, take that.
I was like, take that, bitch. And not even the whole class presented. It was just like 2 tables that presented. And one of those tables was my table.
I feel like you're getting me sick now too.
It's not my fault.
And I didn't even go to the concert. No, like for me in elementary, well, I finished elementary school when we lived in Pomona. So I finished it. So once I was going to middle school, that's when I went to Moreno Valley. And then I think I did 6th grade and then a little bit at the beginning of 7th. But then we moved back to Pomona. And then that's where I finished 7th. And then I think I started 8th. Did I start 8th grade? Yeah, I started 8th. But then we moved back to Moreno Valley. And I had already started middle school here. And I remember like in 8th grade, I hardly went to school because of what's it called?
Because of the moving process.
Because of the moving process. And then also they hadn't even started middle school the school where I wasn't supposed to go to middle school. So they hadn't started 8th grade over there. I had started before over here. So it was like, I'm going to school over here and they haven't even started school over there. Yeah. So yeah, that happened. But like elementary school wise, like honestly, like I'm trying to think about it.
I'm trying to think, but I don't remember so much of elementary school. Yeah. Like, especially since we moved a lot. Yeah. It was during that time. So I remember a lot. Sorry. I think the most that I remember was probably like my 3rd grade year. And even though we moved like in the middle of it, yeah, I still remember I enjoyed 3rd grade. I think that was like my favorite year of all in elementary school, honestly. I remember doing everything during like the Halloween, like when they would do like the parades for Halloween, or the Christmas when they would like put on like the little show.
Honestly, I don't remember my maybe we did it outside because I went to the same elementary as you. Yeah. But, again, like things changed. I think we did more of our stuff like outside. And then what was it? I would get a lot of awards. I remember they had like this thing. They had like the bug of the month. Which was to bringing up grades, and like they would give like a little certificate for like different places, or like the student of the month. And there was times where I'm like, I would get it 1 month, and then the next month I would get it again. And I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, I was just
like, this happened twice.
Yeah. So like I don't remember, honestly, like I don't remember if my mom was there, to be honest. Like I never paid attention to that. You know what I mean? And you know how they say like, oh, it'll mean something to like
kids.
To
like
kids.
But
in reality, attention. I never paid attention to that.
Honestly,
but the one, sorry, go for it.
Sorry for cutting you off. No, I don't remember. Like, I remember I used to tell mom, but I don't remember so much of her being there until she was more in Moreno Valley. We went to Moreno Valley. I remember she would go there. But when we used to live in Pomona, I don't remember her much being there. Yeah. I don't think I ever paid attention.
Because you never got awards.
Yes, I did, bitch. I remember in kindergarten when I did get my first award. I remember they would give us like this little coupon thing or whatever, and we would show it to the lunch lady, and then we would get like pizza and like a cupcake. We had a
a
different
day
lunch.
old or 2 days old weeks.
We got different lunch than the kids who
Yeah,
did it.
yeah. No, but like, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, like the one thing I do remember about elementary, honestly, I would get picked a lot. I would get picked so much, and that kind of followed me through like, I'm gonna say maybe some of middle school, but not like uh, picked. I don't know how to explain it to you. Like I would okay, back in the day, I'll say
Back in the day,
it.
back
Back
in
in
the
the day,
19s.
back in the day, I'll say it. I guess I wasn't a pretty kid. I'll say like that. I did have a unibrow. um, so like they would make fun of me a lot, but like honestly, like I don't feel like I really paid attention to it in elementary as much
As in middle
until
school.
yeah,
But I think that's normal, honestly. Well, I don't know. Kids now, I don't know. I feel like it does affect them more now.
yeah.
But I remember back then it didn't affect you as much when you were a kid.
It didn't, but it did get to me in middle
Yeah.
school because and then like I feel like this is a topic that maybe a lot of people don't really talk about, but damn, why am I getting nervous and like
No,
emotional?
I remember for me, I don't remember getting picked on so much in elementary school, but what I do remember is that towards the ends of my elementary school years, like 5th grade and
Yeah.
like 4th, 5th grade, well, yeah, 4th and 5th grade, we had just moved back to Moreno Valley, like I said. And in 3rd grade, obviously, we moved back when I was like in the end of 3rd grade. So honestly, I didn't have many friends
Yeah.
because we had just moved back and like it was different because there was like different students, you
Yeah.
know? And in 4th grade, I remember I did have some friends, but I don't remember having too many. But then I remember what I used to do a lot because I remember I didn't have many friends. I used to be alone most of the time in
Well, that
elementary
was
school.
me. That was me literally in sometimes in middle
And
school
I
and sometimes
remember
in high school.
and I remember the one thing that I used to do would be play tetherball because you used to have like the little tetherball courts.
Yeah.
And I remember since I was alone a lot because, like I didn't know many people,
Yeah.
I used to play tetherball a lot.
Yeah.
And that's what I would do. But I remember I was alone most of my years at the end of
Yeah.
elementary school. It wasn't until
Yeah.
middle school when
And
like
it's weird because like you would think like, being in 3rd grade in elementary, it's easier to make friends,
yeah.
than when you're like in middle school, you know what I mean? Because
Hmm.
it's like the kids are a little bit older and I don't know, I feel like kids have at least I think in my time, like they had a little bit more like of a how to say a difference, like
Yeah.
wanting to make a new friend.
Well, I mean, by then I feel like since it was like bigger, and like there was other students, I feel like it was easier for me to make friends
Yeah.
in middle school. But I remember having to move back. I remember I did know people from the school, but it was still a little bit harder because I was like, I don't know them anymore like that, like I
Yeah.
used to. So it was like harder to like talk to them and like I had to like find a new friend group, you know?
Yeah. And didn't we go to the same middle school, right?
We went to the same middle school. You went to that middle school, but I only went there for like half a year, you know?
Oh, so you didn't went there much.
I didn't go much.
Oh, but like okay, so like for me, for instance, like I said, like for me, I was mostly picked on because of my looks, and I'll say it, because and some of those people now I actually have them on my personal page, like on Instagram.
Take that, bitch.
They're my friends and stuff. And no, I'm gonna like I want to say, you know what I mean, like things that I went through, so people realize and like
Yeah.
kind of take this in and like either they have kids to kind of like introduce not what to do to their kids.
Yeah. Not that, but like for them to like realize, like you can pick on people. Like when you were younger, you picked on them and you didn't like pay attention to what you were doing. But then you have kids and you worry that your kids are gonna be going through the same thing you did to somebody else.
Or vice versa, or somebody did
Yeah.
something to you. But like again, sorry you guys if I get emotional on this
I
one.
think we're both gonna get emotional, honestly.
So yeah, like if we get emotional, we well, we're not gonna apologize. We're humans.
We all get
Yeah,
emotional.
we all get emotional, but like
Don't cry with us though. Or if you want to, go ahead.
but this is just to kind of give you guys like an insight about like one that everybody has some type of trauma or things that they went through,
Not
but we
only
don't really
that,
talk
but
about it.
like, I know that sometimes you're a kid and like you don't know what you're doing and like like
Yeah.
later on you realize what you did, but in reality, like
Or
you're
like the way
always
it affected you, like in
yeah. But
different.
then again, like you're always told like like you don't know what other people are going through, so like
Yeah,
why are
that's
you
true.
gonna add more? Why are you gonna add more stuff to them than you don't even know? Like
Yeah, so like I mentioned to you like I was picked a lot in elementary, and I don't feel like I took it too at heart in elementary school because I feel like you're little and you fight, you know what I mean? And then you
Yeah.
get back like just as
Like the
normal,
next
like
day, you
friends.
guys are friends again.
Yeah. So like for me, like it hit me harder in like middle school. So like we moved to Moreno Valley and like as soon as I walked in there, like, it was hard to kind of like see who you're gonna make
Yeah.
friends with.
It was
And like
different.
for me, when I walked into class, I remember like looking at the people in my class and I'm like, okay, who do I want to make friends with? And it's not that I went based off their looks, but I can just
You
tell
can
by like
sometimes tell.
by the way they were looking at me, like I can tell like, oh, I could connect with this person, you know?
'Cause,
And
like, you'll walk in and sometimes there'll be that person that just gives you, like, that face, like, that
yeah.
looks you up and down, and there'll be that person that, that's
Yeah.
smiling, you know?
Yeah. So like, this is I think I started talking to some girls before I started talking to like my now best friend. And like, I was talking to them and stuff, but like I did get picked a lot based off like how I looked. And I don't feel like well, maybe towards the end of 6th grade because it's well, this is not it's kind of funny in a way. So like there's this kid I remember I had like my first crush in 6th grade and I ended up supposedly dating him, like, supposedly he asked me out, and it was, like, only, like, 2 days, why lie, like, 2 days? Yeah, it was, like, 2 days,
A
but, like,
2-day
within those 2
relationships.
days, like, we didn't talk, we didn't do nothing, okay? So we weren't really going out if you think about it.
It was like that, just looking at each other, like
Not even looking at each other, it was just awkward, okay?
ew.
But
It always was, honestly.
But, like, it turns out that I found out, like, the last day of, school that, like, he was made a bet that he can get with me, that I would fall, and, like, it basically taken as a joke. So, like, that happened, and, like, it was not like that I really liked him, but I'm like, "What the fuck? Like, why the
Like,
fuck would
why
you
would you
do
do
that?"
that?
So it was more about that, and then, like, the fact that people knew. There were certain people that fucking knew that knew me, like, that they supposedly would talk to me, and they
That
fucking
were supposed
knew.
to be your friends.
Yeah, and, like, they fucking knew instead of telling me, like, "Hey, like, don't, like"
Don't fall for
yeah,
it,
"Don't
like,
fall for it," you know what I mean? So, like, that was, like, the first hit. So, like, I think after that, like, I started kinda paying attention more to, like, how I looked, how I dressed, how, like, little things here and there. So once I got into like 7th grade, when we moved back, I was going to middle school in Pomona? Yeah, in Pomona. And I had friends. I had already my friends from like elementary school.
Mhm.
And it wasn't hard to get back to like,
Yeah.
like talking to everybody.
'Cause
And
you already knew people.
yeah, and then like part of them I did kind of keep in touch too with.
Yeah.
So when I went back, like, I started talking to them and stuff. But it kinda hit me more because we had PE, and this PE teacher, I don't think he meant it from, like, a wrong in a wrong way, but I don't think he realized how it affected people in a way mentally if he didn't
Yeah.
really so I kid you not, he had 2 different groups for, like, his PE class, right? So there was, days where we had to run, and he had a group where, like, basically they were all skinny, yeah, and
Ah.
they were quicker, and then he had the team where they were chubbier, and he thought they were gonna be
Yeah.
slower. But for his surprise, I was a fast runner. So,
You're like, "Gotcha, bitch."
yeah. So, like, he was, like, impressed, and he started telling me, like, "Oh, if you keep this up, I'm moving you to the other team," right? And, like
That's kinda
yeah,
fucked
and
up.
then he was also the basketball coach, so I went to basketball, remember?
Oh, it was one of
I don't think he's there no more, he was older. I don't think
uh,
he's there no more.
probably passed away or something.
He was not that old.
Oh.
He wasn't that old.
Well, you never know. He doesn't have to be old to pass
Yeah.
away.
So, like, I went in basketball, and then, like, I think, like, that, and then, like, the fact that, again,
I'm
um,
sorry, that was funny.
Emily doesn't know how to keep her laughter in it and uncomfortable no, it isn't not uncomfortable
And
in the
inappropriate
yeah.
moments.
Bitch, Imma start crying right now, which is
You're gonna be
crazy.
crying. I'll be like,
Emily's just trying to make it less awkward.
I'm like, I'm trying to make it like not be so sad,
Yeah.
Crystal.
But, it could be a sad
It
topic. I
is,
mean,
but like you
yeah.
gotta lighten up the mood.
Sorry, guys, I had a burp. Um, sorry, that was my I was trying to burp, I'm telling you. So, okay, so I was in basketball, but, like, again, like, based off that and, like, everything, I started kinda thinking more about the things and, like, him saying, like, "Oh," like, just
Just how you looked, basically, physically.
So it got to the point
How you looked physically. Oh my God.
where it affected me. That I started working out at least 2 to 3 times a day. I would only
Girl, I can never.
I would only eat salads, and I made sure it was just like lettuce. I would only drink water. I didn't want to eat chips. I didn't want to drink soda. I didn't want to eat out. Nothing, none of that. And as soon as I would stop, as soon as I would finish eating, I would wait like 10 minutes, and then I would get to working out, burning everything off because I didn't want to gain weight. And in my mind, it was more of like be skinny, be skinny, be skinny, be skinny, be skinny. And I started, trying to change my appearance, doing my eyebrows, doing different things to myself. And there was times where like I feel that middle school, I did get an eating disorder without any of my family
But
members.
can I be honest? I feel like I'm not gonna say every girl because I know that there's guys too.
Majority.
But I feel like the majority of girls, when it comes to getting into middle school and getting into high school, that's when I feel like we all end up getting.
But it wasn't just that, Emily. It was the fact that I had family members telling me shit. I had a family member literally go up to me. Like one time she was dropping off her kids at the middle school when I was in Moreno Valley, and she saw me and she was like, "Oh, that I was starting to change." And that oh, that's good that I'm starting to change because I was ugly. Yeah. Like that, like things like that, like literally fucking took a whole different toll at me. And I remember like telling my mom, I think I didn't tell my mom until like way after, and she was like, how did she tell you that? Like she doesn't seem like people. I was like, she told me that. Like I still remember to this day. And like it affected me so much that I just wanted to be focused on like losing weight, looking a precise weight that I think it's something that we need to make people aware of, that you shouldn't be criticizing people based off how they look, because again, you just don't know where they are mentally. You don't know what's going around, like in their households or anything, not precisely that we had something going on in our household, but I'm just saying, that it got to the point that there was one time I remember getting a chip and I started bursting out in tears thinking that I was going to gain weight. I started looking at myself in the mirror, calling myself fat. Like, okay, it got to the point where I started having other thoughts, and it really did take like a toll on me, because like, majority of like my childhood up to like, middle school, it was everything like based off, looks. And even after, honestly, after like middle school to high school, even as an adult, like all you hear about is how you look, how's your weight, what you're wearing and all that. And it's like, the beauty, I've realized it's like the beauty is not what's outside, it's what you have inside.
Yeah, because in reality, like you can be a beautiful ass person, but you can have a shitty ass personality. Yeah. And that's what makes you look ugly.
Yeah. And like for me, like it like I'm telling you, it just took a really bad like, like toll on me. Like it's just like for me, like everything was based off looks, everything was based off, what I had to look like to be perfect, for society. And that did take like, a whole different, a whole different what is it, mentality of like, thinking about what perfect was.
Yeah.
And I don't think a lot of our family members knew, what I was going through at that time. And then I could say, that one of our siblings was there, that she doesn't know, like that, like she did so much for me without even her knowing. Like she would like do like makeovers with me. She would like do makeup or straighten my hair, but it was more of like a plain like, hey, can I just do your makeup, can I do your hair? And like when she would do that for me, like it
like she didn't see what she was doing, but
she doesn't realize, like that her doing those things helped me get out of, where I was at mentally.
Yeah.
Like her helping me out, her getting involved in doing things with me, like literally took me out of where I was. And and I'm pretty sure she knows who it is. Like she did a lot for me that she doesn't realize. But and like to that family member, you know what? Beauty is not based off looks. And like, yeah, like I said, like even like in high school, like Yeah, I was worried about my weight. I think I've always like fluctuated, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like off and on. Like right now I'm not at my skinniest. I've been skinnier before, but I had a kid, I have life, I have different things going on. But like that's the thing. Like I feel like it I hate hearing people basing everything on looks. There's comments like, and I'll say it like in a Hispanic household,
Yeah.
you have to look good for a guy because if a guy sees you and you're not the way that you're supposed to look for
They're gonna
society,
go find
they're
someone
gonna go
else.
find somebody else. And it's like it's not that. Let them go look for somebody else. You know what I mean? Like it's okay. Like you don't have to change nothing of yourself in order for you to feel loved. You need to work on yourself to know that you are loved. Even if it's from yourself, like you need to love yourself. You don't need to be depending on love from anybody
Yeah.
else. And that's like, it sucks hearing that, you know?
Yeah.
But I'll get a break, Emily, for now. Let me catch my breath and
Like,
my
catch your
tears,
catch your
my
emotions back.
emotions. But like, like tell us about you, like your stuff.
Oh man,
Because
because they're gonna make me cry
well,
now.
not like that, but like I want to
Yeah.
know, like
Like my experience, how it's for me with that.
yeah, and that or like was it the same with you, like middle school, elementary?
I'm gonna start crying too. Okay, whatever. For me in elementary school, like I said, like I was mostly alone, so I didn't pay too much attention to that.
Yeah.
And I don't remember in middle school or not elementary school. In elementary school, I don't think I really got picked on in elementary school. Honestly, I think the one thing that I did get picked on too was about like my eyebrows, but it wasn't because I had a unibrow. It was more because like my eyebrows from down here were like very like hairy or like bushy,
No, but you never had hair.
I know. I've never had like so much like eyebrows like you do. Like
A bitch.
no,
You too.
not like that, but like like yours are like you have like that nice shape, and like I feel like for me, like I've never had like so much
I had the
eyebrow.
Frida Kahlo brows.
No,
and you had like
for
the
you,
Diego.
fuck you. No, but for you, like like when you get them done, you have like a nice shape, and you don't have to fill them in.
Yeah.
And like for me, even though I don't fill them in, like like I still don't have like so much.
But they're dark. They're not light.
They're dark. I know they're dark, but I'm like I don't have so much like hair.
You're calling me hairy?
No. That's not what I meant. You know what I meant. But for that, or like my lip too. Like
Yeah.
I had like
oh, me too.
Like I had hair on my lip, and like
that's why they knew that I was my daddy's kid.
That's how they knew. No, but like I feel like honestly Hispanic, like we always get a lot of hair, honestly.
Yeah.
And I remember I would get not picked on about it, but like like sometimes they're like, oh, like like you don't want to wax or something, or like,
yeah.
And I'm like, bitch, no, I don't. What if I want to look like my daddy?
Does your mom have a shop, or you guys know anybody?
No, but I remember like it was that. But other than that, I remember so much of elementary school. I do remember middle school. It wasn't in Moreno Valley. I remember in Moreno Valley, I was fine. I had my friends. Everything was pretty okay, I guess, in Moreno Valley. Like it wasn't so much for me. We came back to Pomona though, and not in 6th grade. I'm gonna say this started more like in 7th grade.
Like me.
Yeah, literally. Yeah. It started in 7th grade. I don't remember what this girl's problem was with me or whatever, but I remember she started picking on me. And it was just her at first, and then other people, like her little friend group, started picking on me too. And like I had my friends, but like like they were like they knew what was going on, like they saw too. And I remember I knew she didn't like me. I knew they were saying stuff, whatever, but it was never to me personally,
Yeah.
Like she never told me anything personally until one time. It was raining, and we had to go through the hall.
Was it that time?
What do you mean?
Where you text me? Sorry.
It wasn't that time.
Okay.
That was in 8th grade.
Oh, okay.
We'll get into that right now too. But it was in 7th grade. We had to go through the hall because it was raining, obviously, and like our class was outside, and we didn't want to like walk around and go to the class. So we went to the hall, and like my breath is like going. And I remember we were walking, and then I was with my friends. And I guess her class hadn't gone in yet. Like, the teacher hadn't opened the door. And I remember walking by, and they were like, oink, oink.
Yeah.
And I was just like, really, bitch?
And you were like, Peppa Pig.
No, but I remember, like, I was like, did she really just fucking say that?
Yeah.
And I like, went to class or whatever. And then after, like, you know, like, I was like, okay, like, she's really gonna start shit, all right?
Yeah.
So I remember I was with my friends and they were like, what the fuck? You know, like,
Yeah.
they're like, do something about it.
Yeah.
So I went to my teacher and, like, I told him what happened. And he was like, what the fuck? Like, he didn't say what the fuck.
Yeah.
But he was like, no, like, that's not right. He's like, take this up to the office. So I go to the office, you know, they end up calling her in and they didn't do anything about it. They were like, okay, like, whatever, just, like, don't be, like, saying stuff to each other.
Yeah.
And it was, like, left like that. And then I remember they would just be calling me Piggy.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, whatever. And then
I'm not trying to be mean, but I mean, now you're famous. Isn't that a game? And what is it, Roblox?
Oh yeah, now I'm famous.
No,
Look
bitch, I have a game.
Look at bitch, I got a game now. I don't get paid for it, but now it's named after me. And no, like I remember it was that. And then 8th grade started, and I remember there's still stuff. But this time I was like, all right, bitch, you want to come to me? I'm going to start telling you stuff.
Emily had a whole break, a summer break to get prepared. You
know what? I was like, put on my bun. I started watching Louis' videos, you know, like the ones with the fighting videos, how to fight. I was like, put on my wig, pull up my hair. No, so then I was like, okay, you want to call me by how I look? All right, let's start. So I started calling her, I'm not going to lie, I started calling her cucaracha. I was like, ¿tú quieres empezar? Yo también. I was like, yo por qué me parezco? Like, why do I look like a piggy? Like, my nose? Like, is it because my nose is, like, tiny?
She was calling you Miss Piggy?
No, just Piggy.
Oh, I thought Miss Piggy. I was like, she a pretty cute little bitch.
I was like, she pretty fashionable, too.
Be like, thank you. I take that as a compliment.
No, but I was like, why? Like, I didn't understand why. Like, I was like, okay, whatever. So I started calling her cucaracha. And I remember my friends decided to start calling her, too. Because they're like, all right, you're going to get your friends involved. Fine. We're going to go back her up too. And then that started going on. And I don't remember what happened. But she started starting stuff more up again. So I went up to her and like, I wasn't going to do anything. And I was just like, all right. I went up to her. I'm like, you know, like this needs to stop. Like, this is so stupid, you know? Yeah. And I remember it was like in the cafeteria though.
So you were trying to be like the bigger person?
Yes, I was trying to be the bigger person. But this was in the cafeteria. And since like my principal already knew like there was stuff going on, she thought I was going to fight her. And I was like, girl, like nobody's going to do anything. Like I was just trying to talk to her. Like I was just trying to be like a big person, you know? I was trying to be grown. But they thought I was going to go beat her ass or something. So they brought like they brought in, I remember it was the vice principal too, like, so we wouldn't fight in the cafeteria. Yeah. And I was like, girl, what am I supposed to do? Grab somebody's food and throw it at her?
Yeah.
And whatever, we went to the office again. And this time they got the counselor involved. And, you know, like the counselor started like trying to like make an agreement. Like, you know, like nobody's gonna call anybody anything. You guys are gonna keep your distance. And that's that.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, whatever. Like, I'm fine with that. Like, I don't care. Like, I'm gonna be a big person. I'll be like, all right. So she wanted us to sign a contract, and I signed it. I was like, whatever. Like, I don't need to be near her. I don't care. And then for her, she was like, I'm not gonna sign it. And I was like,
Emily dropped down the pen and grabbed it
right there. You know what? Let me fight you right here, right in front of this lady, so she knows what happened.
Can I see the contract? Come on, bitch.
I was like, right here in the office too.
Yeah.
No, but she was like, I'm not gonna sign it because I know I'm not gonna go by it.
What a bitch.
And the counselor looked at her and she was like, are you for like
Mira cucaracha?
No, she called her by her name though, but I'm gonna say cucaracha. And she was like, Mira cucaracha, like, you know, like, are you serious? And she was like, I'm not gonna go by it, so I'm not gonna sign it.
Emily, rip that contract. Come on, give me a liga.
So this was like towards like the end of like school, like the end of like the classroom, the school or whatever. And she was like, you can go home. So I left and like I told mom like what was going on, and she was like, you know, like, okay, like, you know, just like try not to like get involved or whatever.
Yeah.
And then I guess she had to stay like because they were gonna talk to like her family or whatever. Yeah. And that was that. And then like after that, like months kept going by. She continued talking. And I was like, all right, like, I'm done. Like, I wasn't going to fight her, Crystal. I wasn't going to fight her. I swear I wasn't going to fight her. I
stomp at her like she is a cucaracha.
I was like, la cucaracha.
Ya no quiere caminar.
No, but, you know, like, I was like, I'm not going to fight her. Like, I'm, like, for real done. Like, I'm going to go talk to her and be like, you know, like, this needs to stop. Like, it's annoying, you know? So I remember I was with my friends, and this was outside this time. It was outside. We were at the bleachers. She was with her friends, and I go up to her, and it was just me. I was like, you know what? Like, I want to do this by myself. Like, I don't need my friend group, being with me. So they'd be like, oh, she's scared. She's a little pussy,
Yeah.
So I go up, and I'm like, hey, like, this needs to stop. Like, I'm done. Like, you're out of my nerves. Like, you're done. Like, I'm tired of it, And she really looked me in the eye. She looked me in the optical of my eye, Crystal.
And she said, bitch.
No, but she really looked me in the eye and was like, and if I don't stop, what are you going to do about it? And I remember I stood quiet. I looked at her and I looked up and I was like, God,
this one's for you.
I was like, God, I know I shouldn't be doing this. I know my mama told me to never start a fight, but I'm done.
But she said, never back down. If somebody looks for problems.
Never back down, never. What?
She said, if somebody looks for problems, then
you finish them.
You finish them.
So I grabbed her and I was like, all right, then.
You want to see?
No, so I remember the beginning, she was like, I don't want to fight. I don't want to fight. And I was like, I'm not coming to fight. I'm coming to talk to you because I'm done.
She was scared.
Exactly. And she's like, I don't want to fight. I was like, girl, I'm not trying to fight you. But when you told me, what are you going to do about it? I was going to do something about it.
I'm showing you.
I showed you. I had to visually demonstrate what I was going to do about it. You seem like
you're a visual person, not like more of, like hearing you.
Like, you're not a listening person. You're a physical, working hands on. So I was going to show you what I was going to
work my hands.
So I remember I grabbed her, and then one of her friends jumps in. I grabbed the friend.
Emily was like this.
No, I remember I grabbed the friend too, Crystal.
And Emily's with her foot over here. Who's next?
No, but I remember this guy tried to stop it. Like, I knew the guy who was kind of like my friend or whatever, and he tried to stop it.
Emily gave him the look. Like,
no, he tried to stop it. I hit him too.
Emily was going Jackie Chan on.
No, so then I hit him too. So he decides to get out of it. He didn't even want to go near us no more. Until like the safeties and everybody go and they get us. And then after, I remember the safety I was with, like, she was cool, she knew me. And I was like, like, I was just done. Like, I couldn't no more. Like, I was over it. And she was like, I know, Mija, but like, that wasn't the way. I was like, you don't understand. Like, I was done.
She's like, I know, Mija, I was going to give you 5 more minutes, but I'm like, I have to.
No, I was like, like, I was done.
Yeah.
And I remember we go to the office or whatever. And we had to like write a little like what happened. Yeah. And that's when I like texted you.
Emily's writing down, I rocked this bitch because she said to show her. So
I did. I did. I was like, like I wasn't gonna fight her. I'm sorry that I fought her. But she told me if she wasn't gonna stop, what was I gonna do about it? So I showed her ass. No, but I remember like we couldn't call anybody. So I remember I grabbed my phone and I texted you.
Yeah, I remember. And I was like, why is she texting me where I'm like an hour away where I live? I was at work.
Okay.
And I was
mom
like,
did it.
She was like, Emily, mom.
Emily, come on.
No,
Crystal, come
Crystal,
on.
Sorry. Crystal, come mom. I got in a fight. And I was like, why the fuck are you texting me? Like, what the fuck? Like, call my mom or text her.
I couldn't call mom because I couldn't call. Mom didn't know how to text. And I didn't want to text, Mariana, that she lives close. But I didn't want to text Mariana because I was like, she's pregnant.
Yeah.
So I remember I was like, you know what? Let me just text Crystal. And I remember you called mom. Mom called me. And I was like, I can't talk. Like, I can't be on the phone.
Yeah.
And then that's when I forgot who came in. And they were like, you can't be on your phone. And they took my phone. I was like, all right, whatever.
You want to get these hats?
I was like, you want to take my phone?
Emily's going for round 2.
I was like, trying to take my phone. And then I remember whatever. Mom comes, and I remember that's when like the vice principal, he was new, he was a fucking bitch too. Yeah. I was gonna drag his ass too, but I remember he was coming at me, and I was like, sir, like, you don't even know what's going on. You barely got here. Don't start with shit.
He doesn't even go here.
Literally, he had just gotten there that year, so he didn't even know about the previous year what was going on. And then I remember my principal, like, she knew everything that was going on, so like she understood, and whatever. We got suspended for like a day. But the day after that, it was going to be a day off because I don't remember. It was a holiday or something. So
I think we went. Me and Mariana afterwards.
Yeah. Okay. That was after though. Oh. So it was whatever. We had a day off. I got mom's birthday off. It's okay. We celebrate together. And I remember getting home though, and Dad was like, "Who won?" And I was like, me.
He's like, all right, let me put away this
like,
belt. I thought
no, he literally told me, he was like, eso's mija. And mom's like, yeah, encourage her.
He was like, that, you see, all those years of watching box in front of her helped her. Boxing, sorry, not box.
And then I remember, like, we celebrated mom's birthday, whatever. And then the next day, the day we actually had like our suspension day, since it was like classes were going on.
Yeah.
I remember that's when like stuff was going on social media still, and like she still was started doing stuff on social media or whatever.
She still didn't learn her lesson.
Literally. So then we went to the school and we tried to like tell them, but somebody had already told them.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when I went back to school, these other people that they were over her shit too, like they started laughing, and they were like, what the fuck? Like everybody like looked at them like because they were laughing. And then I remember that friend that went to the office and like showed him what was going on. She was like, yeah, like I went and showed him. And I was like, oh, okay. And then I remember it was like towards the end. So then my math teacher, she was like, you know, like you guys need to make sure that you guys can actually go on to the field trip for Disneyland, because it was like the end of the year field trip, whatever. Yeah. And you guys are actually gonna walk at promotion, you know, like if this happened, if you got in a fight. And she looked at me and I was like, are you trying to say like I can't do this because I got in a fight?
Yeah.
So I remember during lunch, like the principal's outside, and I was like, you know, like I just want to ask you a question, like, you know, like am I gonna still be able to like walk and do all this stuff? And she's like, yeah, why wouldn't you? And I was like, you know, because I got in a fight. She was like,
come with me. Come with me.
I was like, tell this. I was like, why? I was like, she was like, why wouldn't you? And I was like, because I got in a fight. She was like, it was just one little fight.
Just one little one. You want to get in the second one?
She's like, I'll cover you for that one. No, but
you guys could step into my office.
And I remember I was just like, girl, like she really looked at me and was like, if you got in a fight. And I was like, girl.
But there's some teachers like that,
I was like, girl, whatever. And I remember when I went back, they were like, I didn't think you were gonna fight her. And I was like, I wasn't gonna fight her. Like, that wasn't my plan. Like, I wasn't gonna fight her. But if she was gonna tell me, what are you gonna do about it? I was gonna show her what I was gonna do about it.
She told me. We spoke about it, and obviously she didn't want to hear it. She wanted to see it. So I had to
physically show her. And that was that. Middle school, that was it.
I never got in a fight. Can you believe that? Like, people would go, I think, up to me. But, like, I remember one time they tried to go up to me. And then that's when I was just like, oh, you know, like, I was like, you know, the issue's not with me. If you have a question, like, you need to go ask that person. Because I'm like, I don't have an issue. And, like, that was the one time. But, no, I never got in a fight.
For me, it was just that. And then, you know, that was the end. High school started. And I had her in some of my classes, but I remember then, like, she wouldn't say anything to me. She wouldn't look at me.
So she realized her, you know.
And I remember one time we went to the library, and I forgot why, but we had to get, like, our little slips of paper, and I forgot what it had on the paper or whatever.
Yeah.
But I remember she had gone to go get hers, and she grabbed mine, she gave it to me. And I was like, yes. So, like, okay.
Hazme, porque si no te aplasto con caracha con ese papel.
No, but that was that. And, like, I just had her in some of my classes, but, like, never again, like, did she tell me anything? Did she say anything to me? Did she, like, give me a look or anything?
Yeah.
That was it. And then in high school, I don't remember much going on. I do know that at some point, it was, like, after COVID, you know, I did gain weight, you know, and I remember, again, like, for me too, like, you know, some family members started telling me stuff.
Yeah.
And I remember I did end up getting into, like, an eating disorder, too. Like, I had to be constantly working out. Yeah. I wanted to be sweating. I didn't want to eat. And if I ate, I could only eat, like, one meal a day. Like, I would restrict myself to, like, one meal a day. And I remember I did lose weight, but it wasn't healthy. And then I look at some of the pictures now from then, and I'm like, ew, like, girl, you had no ass.
You still don't.
But my ass was flatter than it is now. And, like,
I have something going on.
I know, like, I didn't have, like, much leg either. And, like, now, you know, like, I still have legs, Crystal. But I didn't have much leg going on either. And at some, like, after that, like, after high school started, I don't think I had too much of an issue. I'm pretty sure people didn't like me in high school. And if you're watching this, I really don't care. I don't know why you had a problem with me. Like, I didn't talk to anybody. Like, I had, like 2 friends.
Yeah.
I had, like, my little friend group, and I would talk to everybody, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, people think, like, I was mean. Like, I remember one time, like, a friend that I had, she was like, I first saw you and I thought you were mean. Like, I straight up thought you were bitch that you didn't like me.
You still have that look, honestly. There's times where I'm like, are you mad? I'm like,
no, but she was like, I thought you didn't like me.
yeah.
And I was like, girl, like, I didn't even know you. Like, how was I not gonna like
but
you?
there's those friends. Like, even like for me, I remember when we moved to Moreno Valley, what grade was it? I think it was for eighth grade, my eighth grade. There I had a class and they put me in the wrong math class. They put me like for like this, what is it? I don't know, it was like an advanced math class. And I was in
You're like, girl, I can't even add.
I'm like, I'm not even in middle school algebra or nothing like that. I'm like, I'm still in elementary. But like they put me in that class and there was like some girls I remember that would make fun of me. But at that time I had made my eyebrows so thin, entre más delgada la ceja, más puta la vieja. But but like yeah, I had my eyebrows like super, super thin, right? Because I had fucked them up. So I was letting them grow out. And like they would talk shit about my eyebrows, right? Now that they were thin, they were fucking talking shit. And I remember this one time, this is before I moved out of the class, because I ended up talking to the counselor and they moved me out of that class because I was like, I'm not passing the class and this is not the class I'm supposed to be taking.
Yeah.
So I remember that day, this girl was like, like saying, like making fun of me. And like I gave him this look, and then the girl got scared and she's like, be quiet, she's Mexican. And I was just like, yeah, like she got scared. And so I was just,
not that she's Mexican.
Yeah, and then like the other girl responded something, but I was just like, you know what? I'm like, I'm not gonna like.
Right, that she said that she's Mexican. I remember after the fight, my PE teacher was like, I saw you, I heard you went Mayweather on somebody. And no, but in high school, I don't remember much. I know that there was people that didn't like me, and I know those people probably still don't like me now. And honestly, I don't give a fuck.
And you know what? There's one thing I do want to also talk about. In middle school, when it was in eighth grade, no, and it was in sixth grade actually. My mom would buy us shoes from like Payless. All like they would get us Payless, and they had cute shoes. Shit, I don't know why people were complaining, but like back then they would use a lot like the Champion. They're called Champion shoes. So again, we would buy ours from Payless, right? And then at that time, nobody knew what we're going through, like financially, what we're struggling through, anything, right? And like I've never really cared about brand name, what I was wearing and stuff. I didn't care as long as I have freaking shoes on my feet, clothes on me, like I was good. So they would make fun of me because of my shoes, and I'm like, I would get upset. Like there was times I did cry, and like I don't want to wear the shoes at some point, but I'm like, this is what we could afford. This is what we had for, like nobody knew what my family was going through, at that time. And like, like I'm like, they're young, like they weren't even gonna understand what was going on.
Yeah.
But like, those of you who went middle school and made fun of me, now like that's where like I even try to give advice to Amaya. Like never judge a kid because of what they're wearing, and stuff
never
like that.
Judge a book by its cover.
Because we just don't know what people are going through. You guys might hear things from somebody saying, oh, this person's like this or whatnot, or this person this, but in reality, nobody knows what somebody is going through, until you hear it from that person's mouth. Like it's not good to judge others, because everybody is fighting some type of battle silently without nobody knowing what we're actually going through. And I'll say this for me now, like there's things that that I'm going through that nobody even knows about, and I think like I mentioned, like I also had gotten like the therapy.
Yeah.
And this is where I'll bring it in. I've gotten therapy to even, fix that, fix from like my traumas, from the base out how I was looked. Because even after I gave birth to like Amaya, people like Hispanic people tend to like say, oh, well, you need to lose weight already. They expect you to lose weight like as soon as you give birth. And it's like, it takes time, like everybody's body is different. Not everybody's is gonna be the same, so it's like you guys can rush into something really quick, and like not just that, but like for me it was just like I was in and out of a hospital for like almost it was like 2 years with Amaya, going in and out, and it's like I didn't have time for me. And even now, there's times where I'm like, I have so many things going on that I don't have time for myself. And that's something like, I even talked to my counselor about, like, there's times that it's hard as a mom, it's hard to make time for yourself when you want to put everybody else before you and you forget about you. So, like how I'm mentioning, before you guys judge or before you guys go based off what people are saying about you, make sure you guys know, what's true and what's not true. Because again, everybody's going through something. We just don't know. And, teach your kids, those of you who are parents, like, we need to correct them as of now, teach them what's right and what's wrong, so
not only that, but like the people who like did say stuff to others, like growing up that they were the bullies,
yeah.
like make sure like now what you if you have a kid, you're gonna be thinking, what if somebody does this to my kid?
Yeah, and it's gonna hurt you, and like I think that's the one thing I tell Amaya, like I tell her like, don't don't make fun of other people. You know what I mean? Like, don't make fun of them. But if somebody is like coming at you, telling you things, like defend yourself. I'm not saying make fun of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But defend yourself.
I'm
But
not. I'm not also saying fight them,
no, no.
But like like
But
speak up,
yeah. And like I tell her,
Tell
make sure
someone.
you bring it up to one, like the people at the office, the teachers and stuff like that, and bring it up to me so I can communicate to them. Because at least let's say in the future, especially like in middle school, again, middle school, high school, if something comes up to where she has enough or something, you know what I mean? You brought it up to us. It's a record. Hey, this happened. I made it aware of you guys. The situation didn't get fixed. I got tired of it.
Yeah.
So, make sure like now, if you're a parent again, or even if you're not a parent, you're an aunt and uncle, talk to them, give them the right advice,
Not only that, but now like if you're in high school or anything, like don't be that person to go pick on somebody else.
Yeah, like teach them about, what they should be doing. Because honestly, I feel like if we want things to get better as like the generations go by, we need to start making that change as of now, like, with the new generations, so again, like, just learn from, I guess our traumas and stuff, and not kind of putting it into like the new generations, just changing it up.
Well, I mean, for me, like I said, like in high school, I didn't feel like I went through a lot, and then, I had like my little group. Like I didn't really like talk to people.
Yeah.
People like would know me, be like, "Hey, hi, Emily," or like I'd just be like, "Oh, like hi," like I may not know you, but I'm not gonna be
Like to see you,
rude, and be like, "Oh, like ew, like I don't know her or I don't know him," like
Yeah.
I was gonna say hi back, But some people, yeah, I know, like I know that some people didn't like me. I know that some people thought I would probably talk about them when like honestly I didn't. I remember at some point like somebody came up to me and like, "Oh, like I heard you're saying this," and I was like, "Girl, like I don't even know you." In all reality, like I don't know who you are. I was like, "So I don't know if you have the wrong person, but girl, it ain't me."
Yeah.
And they were like, "Oh," like they just looked at me and like what the fuck, And like
Not even that. Like I remember even even like like my friend like from what was it? My best friend like at the end towards the end of high school and stuff. Like I remember that what's it called? Like she was my so-called best friend. I'll put it like that, too. And like there was things like, I think I kind of showed her like the type of person I was, and like she still doubted me. So it's like sometimes people just have that.
it's just like that like trust issue thing,
Yeah. So some people just want to believe what they want to think of you, even if you show them who you really are, they just want to stick to what they want to believe.
Yeah, but other than that, like, like out in high school, like I was in ASB, like I've said before, like ASB is like this class where like you basically plan everything going on around, And I really enjoyed that. I had some friends from there, and then but I didn't like talk to them like I do with like my best friend.
Yeah.
And then well, in my senior year, I had peer counseling, so like I had that, like I enjoyed it. And I can't tell you much about like my sophomore and junior year because it was online. So there wasn't much going on there.
Yeah.
Besides, like
that's a huge difference because I did mine in person.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm like,
That's
I
a
did mine
huge
in
difference.
person.
Like I did mine online and it wasn't hard, but honestly I did not enjoy it. I did not like it. Like the classes, like it just like felt like, like if you needed help, you had to go to like extra hours.
Yeah.
And even then, like if you went to the hours, I'm pretty sure there was gonna be other students. And so you couldn't have like that on one communication with the teacher.
Yeah.
And so like obviously like
But I mean, at least they had like a plan, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but not only that, like I don't think it was too hard either.
Yeah.
Because it was mostly like book work. And then I remember the one thing I hated, I've always hated, I'm sorry if this is your favorite subject, but I've never, ever liked history. I've
I never liked
never
that.
liked
Yeah.
history.
Yeah.
I prefer math
That's
over
why we
history.
that's why we think what is it? What is it?
Okay, Crystal thought that the what was it? The Pearl Harbor
Harbor.
happened in San Diego. And then my dumbass
And then I
was
asked
all
you.
like, she asked me.
Oh no, I asked you because Christian told you.
No, he told you.
No, he told you. Can you believe your sister thinks that the Pearl Harbor happened in
And
San
like I
Diego?
know it didn't happen in San Diego, but my
But let
dumbass
me tell you
obviously
first why.
didn't pay.
Why? Because there were ships where we're at, and like there was the statue and stuff, and like I wasn't thinking at the moment, and I was like, "Wait, isn't this where like the Pearl Harbor?" Looked at me, and Christian just gave me this and looked like, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
No,
Like,
I know Pearl
and then
Harbor
I asked
happened in
him.
Hawaii.
I know,
But then
I
my
asked you.
dumbass.
They asked. Did he ask you or I asked you? What is it? What is it? What was it part of? And you're like,
No, I don't remember. I don't think you said where was it part of. I think you said, so do you know where it happened? And my dumbass didn't even like answer the question. My dumbass really said, wasn't it part of the Boston Tea Party? So that's how you know I didn't pay attention in history class. But not only did I not know how to read awa, but I didn't know. I thought it was part of the Boston Tea Party.
And you were making fun of me because I thought it happened.
Okay, but at least I knew where it happened. But I've always hated history class, and I remember during Zoom, my teacher for my junior year, he said supposedly we had 5 minutes for a quiz, right?
Yeah.
No, he didn't. I never heard a damn timer go off. All right, he said he would put a timer, but it never went off. And I remember we were like 2 minutes in because I could see like the little time on my computer, and it was like 2 minutes in. He was like, "You have like 30 seconds left," and I wasn't even mid done with my test, or my quiz or whatever. And that's why I passed the class, but I passed it with the C both semesters. And I just couldn't. Like we had to read. Like I was fine reading the notes out loud because we had to do notes, and we only had an hour to write all these notes, and it was like 2 pages long of notes. Okay, and we had to write them in, and take a picture of them and submit them before that hour. And it was like long, so it took more than an hour. So I would get the notes because mine was like the second semester, whatever they said second quarter or whatever. I had that class, so I would get them from somebody that had them previously.
Oh.
And I would write them down like the day before. And so I could get that extra sleep in too, you know?
And even though even though you were doing it online.
I remember, oh my god, it's so embarrassing. I remember, okay, I took physics, and one time we had a sub, and I fell asleep during my Zoom, and I woke up and I was the last student there.
Oh, you were left on the thing?
I was
he still on?
The teacher was still there, and I remember seeing that he put something in the chat, and I remember I was like, oh crap, and I ended it. I was like, how embarrassing.
Did he ever write to you?
No, he was a sub.
Oh, they probably told him.
I don't know, but I was just like, damn. And I remember he would still sub when we were there, but he never said anything. And I was like, that is so embarrassing. And then during math, like, you know, or not even that, like teachers would get kicked out of the Zoom. And it was like the student running it now. And it was just funny. But I didn't like it. I didn't. I think the only class that I enjoyed was English.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the good thing is that things, you know, so far have kind of gone better.
I'm just happy that everything got somewhat better for my senior year.
Yeah.
And obviously, I think I enjoyed my senior year because I tried to do everything that I possibly could.
Yeah.
I went to the football games, you know, I went to dances because before that, like I only went to one dance and it was like my freshman year.
Yeah.
But other than that, I wouldn't go to the dances. I didn't really I didn't feel like going. I didn't.
Yeah.
So I was like, why am I gonna pay all this? Like, why am I gonna pay like $60 to go to a dance that's gonna be at my school?
Yeah.
But obviously, like, my senior year, I was like, you know what? Like, let me make the most of it. So I was like, not only did we have like COVID or whatever, so I was like, let me just make the most of my senior year. So I would go to everything, you know, I would try at least.
Yeah.
And I know mom would let me. So, you know, like I went to football games, I went to dances, I went obviously to grand night, I went to prom, and it was fun, you know. Like there's like, I know that there was people that didn't like me, and I know that I didn't have like a big friend group, you know.
Yeah.
But I had fun with like my friends.
Yeah.
And then not only that, okay, there is one thing that went on. There was one thing that went on. I remember it was with my so-called friends, Crystal. Well now like, like I have like 2, 3 friends maybe that I still like talk to, know whatever from high school. But I remember then we had like this little friend group and it was like probably like 3, 4 of us in the group.
Mm.
And I remember Lupita is my best friend. Like if she wasn't there, it had to be just me. And it was like me with our other little friend group. And I remember they got into this club, right? And it was during lunch that they would meet. And I remember they were gonna go and they were like, like, oh, we're gonna go to the meeting, like, I don't know if you wanna stay here, if you wanna go with your other friends. Like they didn't even ask me, like, do you wanna come with us to the meeting? They were like, like, we're gonna go to the meeting, so, like, I don't know what you're gonna do.
Well, that's happened to me.
And I was like, all right, bitch, like go. So I would just go with my other friends. And they were like, they left you? And I was like, yeah, like, what the fuck?
You know what? Before we end this, I'll finish one story with that. Again, my so-called best friend in high school, I would take her everywhere. Like when we would go out for lunch, Christian would pick us up, right? And I always took her with me because I never wanted to leave her and make her left out, So I'm like, I'm not gonna like change up because now I have a boyfriend. He's picked me up and stuff. Like I'm gonna have her join us. So we would take her out with us for lunch, right? And then the one time that I ends up getting a boyfriend, she ditches me. She goes off with him. She saw me. She's like, okay, bye.
Puta.
And and she left me. Like she left me there, and I had nobody to hang out with. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Like I was like, I've never dissed
like
you.
I made you feel like included.
Yeah, I'm like, and I never dissed you for a guy. But like, that happened to me. And again, like I would hang out when I moved back to Pomona for high school for my junior year, was it? Yeah, my junior year. There was times where I was by myself during lunch, like there was girls who, they were like those girls,
No, like
they would use me.
They would just get mad. Like people
they liked the way that I would do makeup. They would ask me to do their makeup, and then they would tell me, "Oh, hang out with us in lunch," and then they would ditch me. So again, I'm telling you, I've dealt with those people.
Not only that, like I remember people would get mad for the most random things. I remember my friend had a boyfriend, obviously, and they broke up. And I remember I made her a poster, right? Yeah. I made her a poster so we can go to a dance. It was Sadie's. Yeah. And I was like, you know what? Like, I'm gonna ask my friend, whatever. So I make her a poster, right? The poster said, sisters before misters. No, who needs a mister when you have your sister? Yeah. And then I put like homecoming? No, Sadie's at the bottom, right? Yeah. And they got mad. Him and his little so-called best friend got mad because of that. And they were saying that I was basically saying that he did this to her and did that to her. And I was like, when did I ever put in the poster about your name or anything in the poster?
One last question. Are you guys still together?
No, she was a so-called best friend, right? Oh. Right? She would talk to my friend that was dating him. Yeah. Turns out they're dating now.
Well. How the turntables turn.
I don't know how turntables turn.
How does it go?
How have the tables turned?
Okay, there you go. I'm a little slow. I'm telling you, I'm not. I'm just so tired.
Crystal, you're not slow because if you say that, then people that knew me from high school would be like, Emily was slower. So I was.
Yeah, that's true. Okay. And she still is. But we went a little bit longer today. I think today was kind of a little more. What is it called?
We just had a lot to say.
Yeah, a lot to say, and then I think this topic is something that I think a lot of people would want to talk about. But with that being said, we hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and you guys have a great rest of your week or weekend. Because this usually
comes out on Friday, Saturday.
But yeah, we hope to, we hope you guys stay tuned either on YouTube or Spotify. And remember to subscribe on YouTube on home. Is it _by9?
No,
just home by 9.
And then follow us on Instagram and TikTok.
And that one is home _by9.
The number 9.
The number 9. And yeah, so that being said, we hope to
you enjoyed this episode.
Yeah. And so yeah. That's pretty much it.
Okay.
All right. Bye.